Hi, I'm Marguerite, or Marg for short. You might be watching this video on my website, which is core-awakening.com, core-awakening.com, or maybe you came across it in a different format. But either way, welcome, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to tell you in this video a little bit about the type of yoga that I am certified in. It's called trauma-centered, trauma-sensitive yoga. And then I'm going to have a sample of some standing forms, a couple of chair forms, and floor mat forms to kind of give you a sense of what a session may look like and sound like if you were having a session with me. And then I'll summarize it all up for you, and we'll wrap it up. So let's start with the core elements. The first core element is invitational language. So invitational language may sound something like, I invite you to, or you're welcome to, or maybe if you'd like to take part in, it may sound something like that. And the invitational is important in this particular type of yoga because we want participants to feel that they're invited, as opposed to being in a situation where they may feel like they're being kind of swayed to take part in that sort of thing. So invitational is very important in this particular kind of yoga. The second core element is choice making. This is very important also because we want participants to feel that they have a choice in what to take part in and how to take part in it, and what feels right for them in their body in that particular moment. So that may sound something like, one option here could be to raise your arms. Another option could be maybe to bring your hands to your hips or have your arms down by your sides. So choice making. The third core element is non-coercion. We make sure that within our yoga sessions that participants are not feeling that they are being made to take part in a certain way or do a certain thing or to even mirror what the facilitator is doing. There's always, in any of our sessions, there's always choice to modify, adapt, or to take part in a way that feels right for you in your body in that moment. The next core element is called interoception. So what's interoception? Basically, it's really about trying to kind of tap into or notice particular sensations that you may be having in your body at that moment. I may say something along the lines of, if you'd like to notice sensation at this time, you may notice sensation in your feet, or perhaps you notice a sensation in your knees, or perhaps there's no sensation at all. And all of those are okay. There's no right or wrong in this type of yoga, good or bad. There's no judgment. However, a participant kind of comes in that particular session, however it is that they want to engage, all of that is okay. And the fifth core element is shared authentic experience. So that's really about humans, right? One human and another, if it's an individual session or if it's a class, how are we as humans kind of coming together in that moment, sharing a similar experience and trying to be present. So often when trauma happens, right, our minds, our bodies kind of like go elsewhere in order to really survive through those particular moments and traumatic events. So being able to kind of re-engage in the body at your own pace is something that is part of this particular kind of yoga. So I'll list them again, I'll review them again. There's invitational language, There's choice making, non-coercion, introspection, and shared authentic experience. The other thing you may have noticed is some of the language that I was using. For instance, in this yoga, we use the words facilitator and participant. And the other type of words we use are forms and shapes and movement in place of the word poses. The word pose or poses can be pretty triggering for people who have had traumatic experiences in their lives. And the use of facilitator and participant, it's really looking at taking away the sometimes implied and sometimes intentional teacher-student role. With a teacher-student role, it tends to kind of have us think that one's like above the other, maybe has the power and the other person doesn't. And in TCTSY, we're looking to have everyone on the same level, sharing that same space, and being in that present moment. That's a little bit about how we work around and highlight the focus of not having a power dynamic going on there. So next I'm going to go back to my mat and I'll show you a couple different forms in a standing form, a chair, the use of a chair, and then on the mat on the floor. So if you'd like to experience that, please feel free wherever you are to engage in the mini practice that I'm going to show you. And if you'd rather just view, witness, experience it that way, that's totally okay. All right? All right, so I'm going to head back to my mat. So as you are ready, maybe coming to a standing form, and perhaps noticing the point of contact between your feet and the floor beneath you. If you'd like to add some movement, maybe bringing your heel off the ground, and then putting down, and then maybe alternating with the other heel. So maybe doing some heel movement and alternating. Another option for movement could be maybe bringing your weight over your front of your feet, maybe leaning back. So maybe coming forward, moving back. Another possible option could be leaning from one side to the other. So possibly raising and lowering heels, coming forward and back, or side to side. As you're ready, maybe coming to stillness. And if you'd like, perhaps bringing one foot forward and the other foot back. And perhaps bending your knee. If you're interested, you could add some movement with your arms, maybe bringing them over your head, or perhaps having them at your waist, or maybe at your side. You could possibly hold them at either of those places, whether it be up, or at your hips, or by your side. Or possibly adding in some movement, maybe raising your arms up and bringing them down. Perhaps continuing with that movement, raising them up and bringing them down. Maybe ending this movement in 3, and 2, and 1. And knowing that at any time, for any reason, through any of your practices, If you would like to adjust or modify form or movements in any way, please feel free to do so. This is your practice, and you have choices and invitations to engage or adjust as needed. So I'm going to come back to the chair. Maybe I'll bring the chair forward a little bit. So if you're interested, maybe having your hands on the back of the chair. And then one possibility could be bringing your feet back away from the chair. And then maybe engaging in a forward fold. The range of this fold is whatever feels right to you in your body in this moment. So one possibility could be folding over all the way or any distance between standing and down, all the way down. And as this feels complete to you, maybe sitting down. And one possible form for the seated in the chair is maybe engaging in a twist. So you may want to, or you may like to try to have one hand over the opposite knee, and then maybe rotating your back so the other hand can be in back of you, maybe holding on to the chair. Whatever feels right to you in your body. This is your practice. You may feel a sensation in your back, perhaps your ribs, maybe even in the back arm if you're holding on to the back of the chair. You may feel something there. As that feels complete, maybe coming forward. If you'd like to explore what the seated forms may be like, perhaps taking a seat. And feel free to have your legs crossed or out in front of you, maybe to the side. Whatever way feels right to your body in your body in this moment, it's your choice. So perhaps choosing which way you'd like to sit, and then maybe exploring a forward fold in the seated form. So maybe reaching forward, away from your body. And the range of this forward fold is your choice. There's no right or wrong distance or go to bed distance. There's no judgment here. This is your practice. Maybe reaching forward. Maybe as a way to end this sample of forms for the video, if you're interested in bringing your arms, moving them up above your head, and perhaps having palms come to center, or maybe bringing palms and arms and hands down, and perhaps resting your hands on your knees. So I hope you enjoyed that sample of what it may look like and be like or sound like in a session with me. If you're interested in exploring more of how we could work together, that'd be great. And you can click on the button below and it can get us started. So again, I'm so glad you were able to come to see this video, and I wish you the best of a great day and continued week. All right? Bye-bye.